Hello there, and welcome to the show, and today I'm going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This is the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and the Knuckles TV series that came out earlier this year, as well as the third film in the Sonic the Hedgehog trilogy, which when the first film came out in 2020, I didn't think this would lead to a trilogy and a spin-off series, but here we are. I really liked the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It exceeded all of my expectations, and the sequel, in my opinion, was a lot better. I loved the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. I thought it was great. I was very excited for this third one, and let's talk about it. So Sonic 3 takes place immediately after Sonic 2, after the post-credit scene with Shadow. The movie opens up with Shadow breaking out of his containment cell, escaping from prison, starting strong right out of the gate. I really enjoyed that. The basic premise of this movie is Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails teaming up with Eggman to try and take down Shadow, eventually for it to be revealed that Shadow and Eggman's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, are working together. Now, starting off with what I felt was the best part of this movie, Shadow the Hedgehog. I loved his backstory and his presentation. Keanu Reeves does an excellent job voicing this character. His story was the real emotional heart of this film. His backstory was very tragic. The way it was portrayed was excellent. I really loved what this film did with Shadow and how they handled his character. Jim Carrey does a double performance as Ivo Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik, and he does great as both characters, and they just let Jim Carrey run wild with his performances. He was completely unhinged in the best possible way. Some of the funniest lines in the entire movie, some great laughs from Jim Carrey. Team Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, the three of them had great chemistry together, and the way they played off of each other was very cool. The performances were really good in this film by everyone involved. Seeing Chaos Control on the cinema screen, that was amazing. There were a couple of funny moments that got me to chuckle, primarily with Jim Carrey. Shadow also had a couple of funny moments. Wade Whipple only has one scene in this movie, and this one scene was funnier than the entirety of the Knuckles series. There is a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. The mid-credit scene introduces Metal Sonic and Amy, and the post-credit scene sets up the future of the Sonic franchise. I do know that a fourth film has been confirmed, slated for release sometime in 2027. I really enjoyed this film. I had a really good time in cinemas watching it. However, there were a few things that I wasn't a big fan of. Firstly, some of the comedy fell flat. The human characters from the first two movies, Tom and Maddie, they kind of felt unnecessary in this film. They could have been cut completely and very little would have been impacted. There is one scene with Tom and Shadow that does play into effect with the Sonic's character arc in this movie. However, for the majority of the film, they felt unnecessary. On the one hand, that makes sense because a lot of complaints with movies like this is the human characters. However, I really enjoyed the dynamic between Tom and Sonic in the first two movies. I would have liked to have seen more of that dynamic. Also, one thing I will say, this movie felt a little compacted, for lack of a better term. I feel like if this movie had an extra 15-20 minutes maybe to allow the story to have more breathing room, it would have been better. It felt like they tried to do too much with this one film. I felt like if they had a little more time to expand on a few things and give a little more breathing room to certain scenes, it would have come across a little bit better. But that being said, I really enjoyed this film. I had a great time in cinemas. This was one of my most anticipated films of 2024, and it did not disappoint. I really enjoyed this film. I had a great time, and I really liked it. I felt that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this film. I am looking forward to the fourth one, and I am a fan of the Sonic the Hedgehog trilogy. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Instagram at Said_2000, and I will catch you on the next video. Till then, take care.